Love Stone, wananitaga Love Stone. Yo, vipi good people? It's your boy Love Stone Music Kenya. Na niko ndani ya Center Talk with Esther Mpaka and Mpaka Creations na director Kings Lucky. Stay tuned.
Matatizo ni mengi sana duniani japona kuamini. Anasamika sana mihadarati na bado lakini yale nayatenda yahusisha dhambi, moyo wa tamani. Usiku na mchana moyo wakosa amani. Kila siku mahangaiko, majaribu lazima yawepo. Salabani nitazamiapo, dhihirisho kuwa Baba yupo. Kwa shetani univushe, mimi mwanako niepushe. Nikisahau nikumbushe that you died for me. Ulikuwa wapi? Nilikusaka sana maishani kabla nikupate. Ulikuwa wapi? Tabu nyingi kapitia kanibidi nikusake. Ulikuwa wapi? Upendo wako kwangu Yesu ni wa kipekee. Ulikuwa wapi? Yesu ulikuwa wapi? Ulikuwa wapi? Sambamba, shida zangu zote ukazituliza. Nipo nikaza kama kamba, maisha yakawa ni miujiza. Neema yako kanijalia, injili yako nazidi kueneza. Baraka zako kanimwagia, ukarejesha nilizozipoteza. Shida zangu kazitatua we, jawabu ya maisha ni we. Ni bora nikutazamie, nisije haibika kamwe. Kwa shetani univushe, mimi mwanako niepushe. Nikisahau nikumbushe that you died for me. Ulikuwa wapi? Nilikusaka sana maishani kabla nikupate. Ulikuwa wapi? Tabu nyingi kapitia kanibidi nikusake. Ulikuwa wapi? Upendo wako kwangu Yesu ni wa kipekee. Ulikuwa wapi? Yesu ulikuwa wapi? Ulikuwa wapi? Yahweh ulikuwa wapi?
Welcome back to Center Talk. That was Ulikuwa Wapi by Love Stone Music Kenya. And I'm glad to be with him right here. But before we go there, we are Mpaka Creations on Instagram, Esther Mpaka on Facebook, and on YouTube, we are Center Talk, just one word. You need to visit that YouTube channel and see just how much is there that you're missing. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
That was a wonderful and powerful introduction.
Thank you.
So who are you?
Love Stone. First of all, my official name is Stephen Gunjiri. I come from a very humble background. I was born and raised in Dandora, a place called Baghdad, near City Day Academy, where Giuliani used to go to primary school.
Yes.
I've never seen my dad since I was born. My mom passed on while I was in class 4. So when my mom passed on, so no situations in life when you were hard and also surviving in the ghetto, I became a street boy by accident.
And had not ever seen your father affected you already?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course, because growing without a father figure, you feel neglected in the society. Most especially when you visit your friends and you hear them calling their moms and dads. So I feel like I'm the one who's left out. I found myself in the streets. I've been a street boy. I used to go to Dandora dam site. We call it Boma. Kwa wale wase wa mtaa wanaijua. Nikajipata huko. Until one day nikapata mfadhili.
When your mother died?
Yes.
When your mother died, did you not have any relatives or anybody that would have helped you?
I had relatives, but they shared off. You know, when we were burying my mom, they gave a lot of promises, empty promises. Mwingine akasema, oh, nitasimamia chakula, nitamsomesha, nitafanya hivi. The moment we just buried by my mom, hata waleo sijawahi waona. Yes. Okay. So I had no option. I have a twin brother and my 2 sisters. Tukajipata kwa streets. So survival was all by ourselves.
Okay.
Na even though tuka survive. So one day by God's grace, because I was very sharp in school.
You were talking about the Dandora dam site.
Yes.
That's where you used to survive from.
Yes.
And when you were in that Dandora dam site.
Yes.
Did you ever think of being a thief or a criminal to survive?
Yes, a lot of times.
Did you execute that?
No. But I found myself into, number one, when you're depressed, number one thing that comes into your mind is drugs. I became an alcoholic. I used to smoke bang, every sort of drug. Name it, nilikuwa nazitumia. But it was
you were
by
nursing
accident.
Your depression.
Yes, because there was no one to care for us. I felt like I was all in the world by myself. So I had to look for my own means to survive. And that was my only source of solace. Yes. And
were you in school? Were you by that time in school, or you were?
Yeah, I was in school.
How were you going to school?
I was in Ronald Ngala Primary School. So nilikuwa naenda shule. Nikitoka shule, nilikuwa nakimbia home mbio because nilikuwa najua there was no food at home. Natoa uniform mbio nakimbia Boma.
Dam site.
Yes, nikikimbia dam sites kidogo kidogo na chokora. Tule tu vitu tudogo najipatia, at least siwezi kosa kama 50 bob or 100 bob. Ilikuwa inasimamia unga. My sister maybe ameshinda akifua kwa mtu anakuja. That's how we survived. No, hatulipi rent because tulikuwa tunaishi kwetu.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So you have other siblings?
Yes, I have 1 brother and 2 sisters. Yes.
Actually, you said you have other siblings. I was just trying to clarify whether you are the firstborn. Where are you?
No, I'm thirdborn because we have a firstborn sister, secondborn sister. No, my brother and I are twins. But of course, nilitoka mbele, so I'm the thirdborn.
So you're the thirdborn.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so at what point did you start taking drugs when you were in primary school, or where did you,
I started taking drugs while I was in school.
In primary?
Yes, in primary.
Did the teachers notice?
No.
So you're trying to say that there could be a lot of kids right now in school who are on drugs. A lot of them. And actually, the school, the people in charge in school are not aware. They're not aware because they're not keen.
Those kids, most of the things that they face in school, they're totally different from the way they are at home. So tukiwa shule, all of us are just the same. Children. But tukitoka out of school, everyone has his or her own life to live. So the way a kid handles his or her own life, it is upon himself. Kuna wale wako na wazazi, thank God to them, because mzazi atamwambia doing this and this is bad. But kuna wale mwenye hana mzazi, hana restrictions at all. So whatever he is doing, it is upon himself or herself. So he doesn't feel sorry for himself because hakuna mtu wa kumkataza, and that is life.
So uliendelea, who was paying for your school fees? I'm curious about that.
By then, I was lucky because tulikuwa na free primary education.
Free primary education.
Lakini wakati tulimaliza class 8, I didn't have a go ahead. Now one day, it was just miraculously. My sister used to attend to a certain church. And then wakati all of our friends walienda high school, my sister alifeel hiyo pinch because wao wali have to drop shule ndio watusomeshe. So yeye mwenyewe alienda akaongea na pastor akamwambia, you know what, my brothers, my 2 brothers wako hivi na hivi na hivi, and they are very bright. By the way, I got 321 marks in KCPE.
Despite ulikuwa na bangi.
Yes.
Okay.
So had it been kama ningelikuwa maybe niko niko sober all the time. I was an A material, ningekuwa 400 plus, una get. So alienda akaongea na huyu pastor.
No, that is primary.
Yes, okay. That is now after class 8. Kaenda akaongea naye, and then the pastor prayed about it, akamwambia I'll talk to the church about it.
Yes.
And the church became of help to us. Yes. Wakatupeleka shule. Number 1, tulienda children's home, of which it was a good school, because I couldn't have imagined ningeenda high school. So hapo ndo nilianza, nikasoma mpaka form 3, and then form 4 nikaenda another school penye nilimalizia sasa.
Na bado tu ulikuwa tu unatekezo ma drugs. By then because nilikuwa under the care of a pastor, I had to leave because she was a mother material to me. Yeah, so nilikuwa na mtu wa kunimentor na niambia this, although it didn't come at just abrupt. It took almost 2 years before I was saved, but I was not nilikuwa nimeokoka but sikuwa nimekombolewa. Shikilia tu hapo.
Yes.
Shikilia tu hapo.
Yes.
We are going out for another musical break, and then when we come back we're going to hear more from him, but always remember to stay focused in your life, even if things are not going right as you imagined. God is good all the time.
Bado nashangaa, nikikosea unanisamehe, Baba wanijaza, wendo mwangaza.
Bado nashangaa, nikikosea unanisamehe, bado wanijaza, wendo mwangaza.
Majonzi moyoni, huku maswali za kuandama kichwani, wanakupiga vita wanataka nini? Kisa wewe kwani umekosa nini? Wacha wajue kuwa bado na wapenda, wakiwa na wewe huwezi kuwatenda, wanawapiga vita send back to sender, na wakishushika baba na watenga.
Ya kesho imekam leo, ukiwa na ye hakuna vilio, kutoka chini na pandisho cheo, napiga sherehe hapa bila vilio. Oh Father, wanna be part of you, through songs wazidi kukupata tu, ingilia pia everything we do, this is a prayer for us to you.
So you ulimanage kupata mtu wa kuwasomesha high school?
Yes.
Okay.
Kama manage kupata mfadhili. Now she came in as a mother figure. Na wakati alikuja na akaprove kukua, feel the gap that I felt since I was young. I forgot about everything. So I started enjoying the motherly love yenye nilikuwa nimemiss for quite a very long period of time. Now from there,
you also found family in the place where you went.
Yes, because watoto wake pia wakatukubali as part of the family, so we became brothers and sisters.
And how did you stop taking the drugs you're taking to get comfort?
You know, number 1, the thing that influenced me is a company, because kumbuka wakati nilikuwa sijaokoka, nilikuwa natembea na watu wenye wanatumia drugs. So basically lazima,
that was the only family you knew.
Yes.
Okay. So how did you get out of taking drugs?
Because I found a different company. Part of the new family that I found, they started showing me another way of life, because nilikuwa nimeanza kuona life in a negative perspective. Then they started showing us life in a positive perspective.
Because the people you were working were the only family that you knew.
Yes.
And they were taking drugs. So to fit in, you had to take.
I had to take.
And for your own pain also.
Yes.
Okay.
But now because I've found a new member, new family, so I had to live as per the instructions of the family. Na hivyo ndo nilijipata nikianza ku take life in a positive way. Nikajipata because there are people who are saved. I started also liking salvation because nilianza kwenda kanisa. Nikaanza kupenda mambo ya Mungu.
Ulipata hiyo love na God akakusaidia.
Yes.
Okay.
Number one thing was love.
Yes.
And then Mungu akanisaidia. And then because of the company I overcame. Unaget, because anytime nikifeel takia kufanya something ananiambia bro kumbuka hapa na hapa, inani judge. And now because sitaki kumdisappoint na sitaki kudisappoint God, nikazoea.
Because nakumbuka before tuende break ulikuwa umesema you got saved and then you got delivered.
Yes. It took me a while. You just don't leave the past at once. It takes some time.
Because it's a journey that you have taken into, now you are a journey that you're coming back from. Yes, and that's a very important thing when you talk about deliverance, because a lot of people just resist that so much. They just say, I'm saved. And they don't know that there's something that you had been doing for a long time.
Yes.
That you need to start living it. That's the process of deliverance.
Yes.
But sijui kwa nini watu wanaichukulia vibaya. I don't understand. But just on about getting delivered from that. Sometimes I find that we who have not been on the streets out there, someone watching, we sometimes mishandle the people that are addicted to stuff. Like when you find that boy with that glue, sometimes they are collected, they are put in a lorry and they are taken over there. How dangerous is that? Because that's the system of that person is operating by that drug they're taking. Yes. How dangerous is that? It
is very dangerous because number one, whatever that person is using, it is the only thing he has, and the only family he has. It is not fair because you don't know the reason as to why umse anatumia chenye anatumia. And me, I normally tell a person, show me the reason as to why sifai kutumia hii kitu. If your reason itakam ini convince, then I will stop doing it. But huwezi kama uniambie kutumia hii kitu ni mbaya na hujaniambia kutumia kitu gani ndio mzuri. Kujaja watu, yes, kujaja watu sipo, because most of the people wenye anatumia pombe, bangi, it is the only thing they have. Say maybe anatumia out of depression, out of stress, hana anything to rely on. Anytime ana feel depressed or stressed, it is the only thing yenye nampeanga peace.
And sometimes the system is now being in a system yake iko used to that.
Iko in line with the system.
Heart inaenda na hiyo.
Yes.
Because I've ever helped someone and they got a heart attack because they didn't get the alcohol they were looking for. Yeah.
Unasikianga mtu akisema haezi ishi bila pombe. Ukweli ni ati anaweza ishi bila pombe, but if you show that person an extra thing yenye anaweza fanya so that anaweza toa hiyo kitu psychologically, because number one inaanzanga na psycho. Ukisha fit in ujue lazima nitumie kitu, it becomes part of you. So huwezi ukaishi bila hiyo, but if you give that person an alternative, he will overcome.
Yes, and while you are in the same lifestyle, that's the way where you are able to start singing with Koflani.
So tuliendaga musical contest, then Koflani wakatu spot because they were the sponsors when Koflani was booming. So wakaanza kutugawa because wali feel tuko na talent, na unajua mambo ya ghetto inakuwa all about supporting talent. Part of them wakatuchukua, part of them wakaenda na wale watu wengine because kuna mwenye alikuwa na feel ukijana ni mnoma, mwingine ni mnoma. So within that division tulikuja tukasplit. In as much as we were a group, tulikuja tukasplit. And then after a short while, wakati sasa nilikuja nikapatana na the other mfadhili, ndio nikaenda akanipeleka high school. Life yangu ikaanza kutransform pole pole.
So ka drift away from there.
Nikiwa form 2, I got saved. Then I started doing gospel music.
Okay.
Yes.
There's a possibility of mentorship also being in the wrong direction for street children or people who are vagabond.
Yes.
Because as you can see, I'm not saying that Ukoflani is bad. I'm just saying that sometimes you can go to a place where you think you have found family, then you get some other form of mentorship yenye inaniso wazazi pia wanafaa wakuwe careful kama watoto wao wamepotea, wasipeane tu mtu yote kuwa mentor.
Yes, because not everybody can be a mentor. Because kuna mwenye atakuja in form of mentorship, but si ati anakumenta to be a better person, anakuinstill, yes, such that atumie the gift that you have kugain
or misdirect you into valuing things ambazo hata maybe money material hata kuweki Mungu
Exactly.
ndani. So the bright side of this story is that you became a gospel artist.
Yes.
And you are still here.
Yes.
So we are going out for another musical break, and then when we come back, you're going to tell us now about your current life, because that was your story, but now it built you into the person that you are. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
Mwenye upendo na mwepesi wa msamaha, kinga na majanga yote, yeah. Nikimuita yuitika, you're always there ready to pick my call. Wasi mia sina, you got my back, let me dwell in you, oh Lord. Kila kaskini taimba sifa zako wewe, umeniponya kanikinga, kanisamehe dhambi. Kama Daudi nita dance bila stop, uwepo wako uje bila stop. Kama Solomon nipe wisdom kwa full, nijawe na waamuzi sawa, yeah. Kijeshi nasimama sigutuki kamwe, simba wa Yuda yuko ndani yangu. Ibilisi yanitishi yuko pole, na uwezo wa Yesu ndani yangu. Siku zote, siku zote, siku zote, siku zote, takusifu siku zote, siku zote, takuimbia siku zote.
Welcome back. Our story is still on. It's not just a story, but a life experience in Lovestone Music Kenya. Now you have been born again. You have realized that Jesus Christ is the foundation, and you are singing gospel music. How were you welcomed into the gospel industry?
Number one, for me it was a very good experience. I have a very what do I call him? A very good friend. Number one, while I was looking for a studio to record in, I thank God because I fell in good hands. I have a friend, a remarkable friend called producer Paulo.
Okay.
He's a very remarkable friend to me because he introduced me to music.
Okay.
It is not easy shifting from hip hop to gospel. So number one, I was still saved. I had the passion to do gospel music. If you listen to my song Jitolea, you will feel the rap part of it, ikona some part of hip hopish because it was part of my culture. So lazima alinishika vizuri kama mtoto, akanimenta na akanionyesha njia za Mungu na akanipeleka in the right direction. That is number one. Number two, God akanipatia very big platform because through the producer, through the medias, through the platforms, my shows and everything, nikaanza kufeel niko part of the army of Christ because I had the chance to preach the gospel. I had the chance to speak to the youth. So kwenda hizo my experiences, my media, kwenda my interviews, kama sasa venye tuko hapa, kwenda hizo my shows, zilinipatia very big platform.
And you also found a family there.
Yes, so I felt a lot of relief and also I felt good. Yes.
Yes, that's wonderful because we are lacking even people to hold hands others in gospel industry.
Yes.
Mtu anaokoka hata jua aende wapi, akienda napewa bei ya kurekodi, ya kufanya nini. And it's also important in the studio to find a producer that can help you sometimes to just write a song.
Yeah, sure.
And make a good track.
He even gave me...
Have you found that in the places where you have been?
Yes, he even gave me music directors.
Yes.
Songwriters. Yeah, most of my songs tumeandika na wao. Because in this journey it's all about helping each other. Na the idea yenye nilikuwa nayo, idea yenye mtu mwingine akona, if you combine it, you can imagine what the two of us can do if you work together.
And sometimes also when you go, because I'm also a gospel artist, sometimes when you go to the studio, you think you have a very good song. When you reach there, you discover that what you're singing is not what is in your head. So ukifika hapo, na imagine kuna kitu naimba. Ushaona mtu anaimagine anaimba kama nani, useme just a famous person. But what you're singing is not what you're singing. So at least ukikuwa mahali penye producer honest and is your friend, they can be able to tell you yenyewe song sipoa, and that's what you are able to find.
Yes,
because let's do this.
Because we are the ones who are singing, but they are the ones who are listening.
Yes.
So we are ministering to them. So they have the capability to tell us whether whatever we are telling them in our empower or in our bomoa. Yes.
So kukuliza tu swali artists, do you think we are the kind of artists we are having, do you think they are willing to listen sometimes when they go to the studio? Because sangine kuna kuangana a lot of rough up kwa producer na, do you find artists wa Kenya wakiwa ready to listen sometimes kwa studio?
It depends on the chemistry you have with your producer or the people you're working with. Because me, I've never found any problem. That's because number one, I make sure that either my producer or my video director is my friend. So we have chemistry with them. Ata understand chenye nataka. Such that if I try to go a rough up road, atanirekebisha because he's my friend. Hata feel aibu, ataniambia, bro, kama uimbi vizuri, hauimbi vizuri. That is a fact.
So how do you prepare yourself to go to the studio sing a song? Do you fast? Do you pray? Or do you just makato alafu muziki inaanza kuja?
No, mine inakuanga a bit different because if you listen to most of my songs are prophetic. Number one, for me, my experience, I do pray a lot and I fast a lot. So inakujanga in form of an idea, in form of a vision, or God can show me something. Kama sasa tunaweza kuwa tumekaa na wewe hapa and then God anionyeshe kitu kukuhusu, but because I can't tell it to you directly, I'll express it through a song. Because you're not the only person who's going under the same situation. So I believe through whatever I'm doing, it'll end up to touch a lot of people's life.
Yes, and it's also important for you. What can you tell a gospel artist mwenye haendangi church, lakini anaendanga missions? Anataka missions lakini haendangi church. No home church, no nothing, lakini anaenda missions because it's becoming tricky. I see a lot of gospel music artists giving out now wapokei. Hata hawezi enda church Sunday. What can you advise such kind of a person?
Number one, you can't go to an exam na hukusomea. Because the church is an academic institution prophetically to mentor the stars that are being ordained there, unaget. So hakuna venye utenda kufanya exam na haukusoma. The reason as to why they are failing, number one, is because of character. They are not built spiritually. They are not fed up physically and spiritually. Okay, they might be fed up spiritually, but physically they are empty. So the kind of character wana portray to the world wanaona kumbe jamaa ako same na mimi, because I expect you to be different from me, but we look more or less the same.
Yeah, me I just want to tell a gospel artist, please, wewe ni kioo ya jamii. Wacha kufanya vitu ambazo zinafanya mtu mwenye hajaokoka akisema kumbe hata kuokoka haina maana. Because you are making that person will go to hell when they die because of you. Because umekataa kama unataka kufanya dhambi, songa mbali na watu wenye hawajaokoka. Ufanyie dhambi zako huko na urudi. Na si ati nakusomea, I'm telling you the truth, because you're causing trouble. You see, you're doing something in the presence of someone hajaokoka. Enda fanyia, jifiche, fanya dhambi zako, si kwa Instagram, mama kwa social media. Fanyia huko dhambi zako kwa sababu youth wanakuangalia. You are the living epistle, hawana Bible. Wakiona hiyo wimbo umeimba, wakiona life yako wanatamani Mungu, unaona. Na sasa another very good question. Wewe ulitoka huko kwa magamu, huko kwa masijui nini. How did you manage to get a woman and marry? Because mtu ametoka huko mara nyingi anapitanga tu na wanawake hata ajui anataka nini. How?
It was by the grace of God and even meeting my current wife mwenye tuko na yeye sahi. Naweza sema ni kwa neema ya Mungu, because she was a model. She is a model even up to now.
Yes.
And I'm also a gospel artist. So we met in a concert.
And you're artistic, both of you?
Yes, sasa ni kama venye tunaweza enda show tupatane. And then in the process of bonding, tuka create a long lasting friendship which ended up to marriage.
Okay.
That's how we met.
Had you found each other being creative? Because you told me she does something on YouTube, and so you found.
Actually, she has her YouTube channel called Shiro Lovestone. She's into cooking.
Yes.
Yes, cooking and vlogs.
Yes. Yeah. So I believe when you pray, you'll get someone who's in your vision, and you can be able to not struggle to fit in what that person is struggling.
Actually, if you align your plans to God, you don't struggle.
Wow.
Like for me, she supports me in like literally everything that I do. She supports me because
you don't look like you're living on earth, because a lot of men are cursing their women. They're saying mwanamke tu ni pesa yangu anata. I like that, because look at what Jesus has done. I love Jesus. Look at what Jesus has done for you, from just being all over nobody to someone who has got even a family. So unfortunately our time is up. So how can people find you on the social media platforms?
My social media platforms, on YouTube, I'm Lovestone Music Kenya. On Facebook, Prince Lovestone. Instagram, Prince Lovestone. Yes, on Twitter, Prince Lovestone.
Wow, that's
Yes.
wonderful. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you too.
I'm humbled to hear your story because that just made me love Jesus more. Wow, don't you love Jesus more? I love him more because of this wonderful story. And you know what? It's not just a story, it's an experience, by the way. I keep on reminding you, yeah? And for us, your dreams are valid right here on Center Talk. Each time you watch, your dreams are valid. This program has been shot at the Country House Inn in Karen, and the great Peerless Company for the continuous support. I'd like to appreciate my director of photography, King Slacky, and his assistant, Collins Mboya. Thank you so much for watching, and may God bless you.